So, we're diving into a real high-stakes tech drama today. It's all about the massive cost of reacting to problems versus building systems that can actually withstand them. We're calling this one The Day the Database Stood Still.
Okay, picture this. It's 4 minutes past midnight on Black Friday, the biggest shopping day of the year. Our hero, a rock star engineer we'll call Neo, is staring at his screen, and fatal error is literally reflected in his eyes. Alarms are blaring. The whole system is going down.
And look, this isn't just some abstract tech problem. This is a full-on financial hemorrhage. Every single second that the system is down, the company is losing $10,000. That's a kind of operational risk that gives CFOs nightmares.
This whole crisis really sets the stage for fundamental conflict, a battle of philosophies you see in almost every tech company. It's the architect versus the hero.
On one side, you've got the principal, the architect. He's thinking about long-term value, about resilience. His whole mindset is architecture is an asset. And on the other side, that's Neo, the engineer. His panic is maxed out, and all he can think about is shipping features and finding a quick fix. His mantra? Just make it work right now. It's that classic conflict, the need for speed versus the need for a solid foundation.
So while Neo is scrambling, ready to throw the most expensive hardware he can find at this problem, the principal shows up. And he just calmly cuts right through the chaos with this killer metaphor. You're paying for a Ferrari to sit in a traffic jam.
And that just nails the problem, doesn't it? It's called system coupling. Neo's big idea, this brand new $20,000 a month database, that's the Ferrari. But it's hitched to this slow, clunky old process, the tractor. The whole system is so tightly tangled up that no amount of horsepower can fix the bottleneck. The bottom line is, who cares how efficient your resources are if the whole system flow is blocked?
And this is where you really see those two mindsets in action. Neo is in total firefighter mode, right? He's practicing solution architecture, it's tactical, it's reactive, and yeah, it might offer some short-term relief, but at a huge cost. The principal, though, he's all about system architecture. That's strategic design, it's predictable, it delivers a high ROI, and it treats the system like a valuable long-term asset.
I mean, the consequences couldn't be clearer. The hero move, that quick tactical fix, it might stop the bleeding for a minute, but it's draining the bank account. It's like throwing wads of cash on a server that's already on fire. The architect move, though, that strategic design builds resilience and real long-term value. Like the principal tells Neo, his fancy new database isn't a solution. It's just a very expensive gold-plated Band-Aid. But here's the thing about all those expensive Band-Aids. They come with a hidden cost. There's a villain that's been lurking under the surface of all these quick fixes, and it has a name. Technical debt. The principal shows Neo this vision of their application. It's a massive skyscraper, but it's sinking into this foundation of black sludge. And he tells him, every quick fix you deployed last year is down there. It's a tax you pay every single time you try to scale. And let's be super clear about what this means for the business. Technical debt isn't just messy code that only engineers care about. No, it is a financial liability. Think of it like a high-interest loan you're taking out against your company's ability to move fast in the future. The more of that debt you rack up, the slower and more expensive every single new feature becomes. But, our story doesn't just end with them sinking in sludge. This is where everything pivots. A change in perspective leads to a real solution and a huge revelation about what actually drives value. So, guided by the principle, Neo stops trying to buy a bigger engine. And instead, he starts untangling the logic. He makes the system more resilient. And the results? They are immediate and absolutely staggering. The system stabilizes, CPU usage drops from 99% all the way down to 20%, and Neo is just watching, totally stunned, as the cloud bill literally starts dropping in real time. And this, right here, is the big takeaway. A high return on investment doesn't come from having the most powerful tools or writing the fastest code. It comes from having the most resilient design. It turns out that good architecture just naturally lowers your operating costs because it eliminates waste and prevents these kinds of disasters from happening in the first place. All right, so the fire is out. The system is stable. Now it's time for the debrief. How do we take this technical victory and turn it into clear, actionable principles that any business can use? Well, it really boils down to 4 key takeaways. If you want to think like an architect, you have to understand asset valuation, the true nature of the loan you're taking on, how to actually price that debt, and finally, how to speak the language of risk. Let's break that down real quick. First, tools are an operational expense. They come and go. Your architecture? That's a long-term asset. Second, you've got to understand that every quick fix is a high-interest loan, and trust me, the bank will always come to collect. Third, when you're talking about new features, talk about them in terms of the technical debt they're going to create. And finally, learn to speak the language of risk to your stakeholders. That's how you get the buy-in you need to build things the right way.
In the end, Neo the hero starts to think like an architect. He and the principal walk away, and they haven't just solved a crisis, they've built a whole new, more resilient way of thinking about the future.
And that really leaves all of us with a choice that every single team, every business has to face. When you look at your own systems, your own challenges, what are you going to build? A temporary tactical fix or a strategic long-term foundation?